From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Liz Palka reporting. World leaders meet for talks on North Korea. United States Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Friday that North Korea's growing nuclear capabilities are a direct threat to the country. He said Washington will use all necessary measures to defend itself.
We have been clear that all options remain on the table in the defense of our nation. But we do not seek, nor do we want, war with North Korea.
Tillerson spoke at the UN Security Council in New York. The subject of the meeting was North Korea's proliferation. UN Secretary General António Guterres told council members that North Korea continues to conduct activities related to its nuclear and ballistic missile programs at an alarming and accelerated pace.
The situation on the Korean Peninsula is the most tense and dangerous peace and security issue in the world today. I'm deeply concerned by the risk of military confrontation, including as a result of unintended escalation or miscalculation.
In Washington, U.S. President Donald Trump pointed to Russia to step up pressure against Pyongyang a day after his phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump said the primary focus of his conversation with Putin was North Korea.
We would love to have his help on North Korea. China's helping, Russia's not helping. We'd like to have Russia's help. Very important.
A strong earthquake has been reported in the Indonesian capital of Jakarta and cities near the country's island of Java late Friday. The 6.5 magnitude earthquake is said to have toppled buildings and killed an unknown number of people. This is VOA News. France firmly backed UN-led peace talks on Syria in Geneva and said the responsibility of the failed negotiations since the end of November fell entirely on the government delegation. UN mediator Staffan de Mistura called the talks a big missed opportunity Thursday.
A golden opportunity at the end of this year, when in fact there is a clear indication by many sides that the military operations are coming to a close. The Daesh territory is reduced to close to zero.
The European Parliament has voted to consider suspending Cambodia's preferential everything-but-arms trade access to the European Union in response to the country's authoritarian backslide. EU lawmaker Charles Tannock told the Parliament that the dissolution of the Cambodia National Rescue Party and jailing of its leader, Kem Sokha, was a damaging blow to democracy and the textbook move of a typical tyrant.
The people of Cambodia, after the genocidal Khmer Rouge regime last century, deserve democracy. They deserve better.
A motion passed Thursday calling on the union's External Action Service to prepare a list of individuals responsible for the dissolution and other human rights violations for potential visa restrictions and asset freezes. 4 Palestinians were killed and hundreds wounded Friday in violence across the Palestinian territories amid more fallout following U.S. President Donald Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as capital of Israel. The clashes came after Gaza's ruling Hamas group called for another day of rage against Trump's announcement last week. Israelis and Palestinians alike claim Jerusalem as their capital. And more news out of Washington related to the conflict. Senior Trump administration officials outlined their view Friday that Jerusalem's Western Wall will be declared part of Israel. This another declaration expected to inflame tensions. The officials said the ultimate borders of the Holy City must be resolved through Israeli-Palestinian negotiations. Vice President Mike Pence plans to visit the Western Wall during his trip to the region next week. Representatives of Venezuela's government and opposition coalition returned to the negotiating table Friday in the Dominican Republic to try to resolve the nation's long-running political and economic crisis. Gathering at the Foreign Ministry building in Santo Domingo, the negotiators have picked up where discussion left off 2 weeks ago. Issues the opposition Democratic Unity Coalition is pushing are free and transparent elections, the release of political prisoners, and opening a humanitarian channel delivered to Venezuela. I'm Liz Palka in Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.